Hi everyone, today we're going to be covering my recent empties, and I've started to do these every other month because last year I did them every quarter or every 3 months, and it was just, there was too much garbage and way too much to talk about. So hopefully these videos will be slightly less in length. Diving right in, I can see that the first item is this Vitabath Sweet Pink Peppermint. This was a shower gel. It says body wash, same thing. I love this stuff so much. The name is perfect for it. It is a peppermint scent, but there is that sweetness that feels pink. I think I said that in a recent favorites video, and it kind of doesn't make sense, but it does if you smell it. It's so good. It's such a nice scent, and it was perfect for the holiday season. I actually tried looking for this in stores, and I couldn't find it, which was really sad because I think this was an older release, maybe 2015, something like that. I got it from a friend who just didn't want it, and I'm upset that they didn't actually have it this past year because it's a wonderful scent. Next up is this face wash by Bioderma. This is part of their Serum line, which is intended for oily combination skin. It's a purifying, cleansing, foaming gel. This didn't actually foam, so that kind of confuses me. It was fine. I don't find that the oily range does much for me. I don't really notice a difference. I'm not as keen on the scent of this as I am with the Hydra Bio line. That one is just amazing. But Bioderma can really do no wrong as far as I'm concerned. It's not that I hated it, it just was meh, it was fine. Next up is a brightening face toner by The Face Shop. This is part of their White Seed line. If you're interested in this range of products, I will link my blog post down below. It must be quite popular because I think I posted that about a year ago and I still get daily hits on it. Anyway, in terms of brightening, which is what this is supposed to do, I didn't really notice a whole lot. It says it is moisturizing though, so I do agree with that. I feel like it was hydrating on my skin. And I actually really like the scent of this, which is very important to me in skincare. I know fragrance is not considered a good thing, but I really want to like what I'm putting on my face, so I like this one. Next up is an eye makeup remover by Nivea. I did not really enjoy this. It is a bi-phase one, so you did have to shake it up, which does make it easier to remove your waterproof mascara, but in terms of comparing this to my favorite, which is the Marcel one, this comes nowhere close to being even remotely equivalent to that one. So I got this, I think, for free from one of those like influencer type things, but it's not something I would ever spend my money on. Sticking with makeup removers, I have the Neutrogena Hydrating Wipes. Many of you may know by now that I just love these. These are my absolute favorite. These can take off waterproof mascara, any kind of waterproof makeup that you have on your face. I do not feel the need to try any other brands because these are absolutely the best. Another face wash here. This is the Vichy Normaderm Cleansing Mattifying Foam. This was fine. I do like these pump styles that go foamy in your hand. I think it's kind of fun. It was fine. It was a face wash. It didn't do anything miraculous, but it also cleaned my face, so it was good to use. Next up is a shower gel by Philosophy. This is their Snow Angel scent, and this is beautiful. The scent of this is everything snowy, crystals, wintertime. Oh, it's so lovely. I wish I'd bought more of it because it's a limited edition scent around the holidays, and I don't think I've seen it recently. I was looking on Beauty Boutique's site and they just didn't have any more. For sure, I will be picking up more of this next holiday season. And here we have a pair of false lashes. These are by the Sephora brand, and this is considered their Luxe False Lash line. Really enormous packaging for a pair of false lashes, especially considering that this is plastic. These were really nice to wear, but they fell apart far too quickly. I think I got 3 uses out of them and they just kind of came apart. If you look right here, you can see that some of the lashes on the band actually came straight off. This is the full size of the lash. I mean, cut down to my eye shape, but this just like, I was cleaning them off one time and it just came apart. Like, no, not acceptable, especially since these were a PR sample, so I didn't pay for it, but I would never encourage anybody to spend, I think it's like 15 to 20 bucks on these pair of lashes when they just fall apart so quickly. Ugh. I have a mini of the Biore Baking Soda Pore Cleanser. Love this stuff. I used to wear Biore constantly in my teens, and then they changed the packaging in my late teens to early 20s, and with the package change came a scent change, and I was just not about that life. However, having tried the new Biore stuff, I really like this. This smelled so nice, and there's little scrubby, I was gonna say molecules. There's little scrubby particles inside this that help it really lather up and clean your face off. I also have a full size of this one right now, and it's a great product. I also finished up the Righteous Butter by Soap & Glory. This was part of a miniature collection as part of the Holiday 2015 release, and it's all gone. This smelled really nice. I can't pinpoint what the scent is. It's not a particular flavor, but it's just a good one. And this was hydrating, and I like the miniature size. I've also got a very small Frosted Plum shower gel by The Body Shop. Not my favorite scent. I love The Body Shop's shower gels in general. I think they make fantastic products. But this scent was just, it's not my taste, that's all. Finished up an eyeshadow primer. This is the Wet n Wild Photofocus Eyeshadow Primer. It's good, but again, I always need to use 2 primers. This does not work on its own for me, so I use this in conjunction with the Maybelline Master Prime, and it was great like that. Also have a mini size of the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. I love the look of this mascara. It does give great volume, it has great longevity, but I really struggle with the brush. It's one of those hourglass shapes, which a lot of brands are doing now, which is fine, but I just personally find it too big for my lashes. I don't like how I end up getting like smudges on my eyelid because I'm so busy trying to finick around with the brush. So, I mean, I like the product, and I will always use the miniature versions because they're fantastic, but I would never personally buy a big size just because I find the brush too big. I've also finished up another foundation. I think this was the 3rd Revlon foundation that I finished up in 2016. Pretty sure I finished this just at the end of December. I love Revlon Color Stay, and this was the old version, the one that has the like SPF of 6 in it, I think. Yeah, this one does. This was the shade 150 Buff, which is very pale. So I used to have to mix it with other darker shades just to like not completely pale me out because I'm not this color. I love this stuff, and I really wish they still made it in the same formula. I'm scared to try the new one. I'm so glad that it has a pump, but I don't think it's ever gonna be as good as it used to be a few years back. I have a face mask by Pure Lisse. This is their Prevent Blue Lotus and Seaweed Treatment Sheet Mask. It says it's intensely moisturizing, soothing, and balancing. I'm not a huge fan of sheet masks. I find it so icky to put them on my skin when you sit there with like this cold, damp cloth on your face and like you can't really move or do anything. But they do work, and they are nice like in the end because they give you good results. This was one of the nicer ones that I've tried. It was soothing and it was moisturizing, and I really like the smell of it. Funnily enough though, I've heard people complaining that this actually gives them a bit of a rash. So I was fine, but just, I guess, be aware if you have very sensitive skin. Wonder of all wonders, I actually have a few lip balm empties in this video. This is the Fresh Sugar Advanced Lip Therapy Treatment. This was part of their miniature collection set for the holidays this year, and I had never used Fresh lip balms before, but they are so lovely. This one smells like kind of sweet lemon. It's really nice, and I really like these miniature sizes because like getting through an entire huge lip balm can feel so daunting, but this was really nice to use. The other lip balm I've used up is this Nuxe Reve de Miel, and this became my nightly lip balm. I would put it on just before I was going to sleep so my lips could get hydrated overnight. I gotta tell you guys, this lasted forever. Even using it nightly, I think this lasted me 8 to 10 months. Like, it was a long time. And what do I think about it? I do like it. It is a nice, nourishing lip balm, but there's aspects of it that people never mention, which I think is kind of strange. Now, this says Dream of Honey in French, that's the title, but there's no scent of honey. It smells like lemon. So that was kind of weird because I was expecting a honey lip balm. And the other thing that I never see anybody else mention is that there's tiny little particles in here that almost feel like a sugar scrub. So it's kind of weird because you put it on your lips and then your lips are not smooth. They've got these little chunks in it. So I thought that was strange that no one had ever talked about that before. It is very, very nice, but I don't think I would repurchase it only because I've got a ton of lip balms right now and there's so many more on the market to try. However, if you do have this or if you are interested in it, it is a nice one. Also finished up a moisturizer. This is the Body Shop's Oils of Life Intensely Revitalizing Cream. This was a heavier cream, so I was using it more throughout the colder months, which is still ongoing. But this wasn't like my daily moisturizer. This was something I used whenever it was super dry out or I really needed to hydrate my skin after wearing a lot of makeup. It works really, really well, but I'm not a fan of the scent of the Oils of Life collection. It's not appealing to me. It smells too much like, I guess, dandelions, really, like flowers, but not like super appealing flowers. So anyway, nice product, but I'm not a fan of the scent. I also used up this Real Chemistry Luminous 3-minute peel. This is one of those things where you put it on your skin and then it's supposed to like, you scrub it around and it's supposed to remove all the dead skin cells. And it does do that, but I find that when you get it on your skin and you start to rub it, it sticks. So then it starts to ball up like the dead skin in that area, but if you try to move it around, you can't because it's already like locked in that location. I was sent this, it was a really small sample and I can't try it again because it's a single use and I just didn't love it enough to like go out and buy it myself. So This makes me laugh because I've got an empty MAC eyeshadow, but I knew that I wasn't gonna remember what shade it was, so I wrote myself a post-it note for it, which is now kind of disgusting. I finished up the MAC eyeshadow in Print. I had a very small amount left on it. It was like an outer ring. And I think I finished it up with my Grinch tutorial because I was using it to like create the lines on the face. Print is a fantastic color. It's not a black, it's more of a very dark charcoal, and I won't repurchase it because I already have too much makeup in my collection at this point and I'm sure I have a dupe for it. But if you are interested in a darker charcoal gray by MAC, Print is a fantastic color. I've also got another one here. This is the shadow in Crystal Avalanche. This is, there goes a post-it note. Also another lovely shade. This was a shimmery white. There weren't glitter particles in it, but there were like just a nice white sheen. I loved actually pairing this with Print. I put Crystal Avalanche all over the lid and then Print through the crease. And that was like my go-to eyeshadow look pretty much throughout my 20s. That was like my dark look. So Crystal Avalanche, great shadow. I finished up the Hydrating Primer by Makeup Forever. This is part of their Step 1 Skin Equalizer range. Really, really love this product. As I've mentioned before, I get really itchy face from wearing foundation. It's not like a rash or anything like that. It's just like, I want to scratch my face. The Makeup Forever primers are some of the only primers that reduce that feeling for me, so I don't have as much desire to scratch off my foundation. Also, the Hydrating Primer was just nice because it helps keep my skin moisturized while wearing foundation. And another good thing about these is that the scent is so lovely. It's so luxurious and fresh smelling. Love these. All right, I got another mascara mini in here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Mascara. This is glorious. It's so expensive. It's black, it's volumizing, it's lengthening, it does everything for my lashes. And I found it a little bit surprising because I've tended to prefer the plastic bristle brushes now, and this is one of those natural ones. And I mean, it's a fairly basic wand, but this was really, really nice. And yet it is so expensive. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna purchase it because I'm still like gagging on the cost of it. I think it's like close to $40 Canadian. But it's really, really good. I've got a Dr. Roebucks Ultimate Hydrating Serum here. I really struggle with serums because I don't notice much of a difference. I use this in conjunction with moisturizer, so I can never really tell if it's my moisturizer doing the work or the serum helping that moisturizer out because it is a hydrating one. These are also incredibly expensive. I think it's like $80, which is just like, seriously? I personally would not spend that money on a serum because I have a limitation on how much I'm willing to spend on skincare. So it's good, but I wouldn't spend that kind of money on it. Next up, we have the Brow Satin by Maybelline. I think this had another name, was it like Define and Fill Duo or something like that? Different countries had different names, but I think the packaging all said brow satin and it confused people. This has powder on one end that you can dip into to help fill in your brows. I never really fell in love with that side. It's just too much hassle and the spongy tip is a little bit too big for my brows. But I've obviously used up the end with the pencil in it. It was fine, not my favorite brow product I've ever used in my life, but it was good enough that I brought it to work and kept it in like my drawer at work in case I like happened to rub off my eyebrows, which is a more frequent occurrence than most people may think. So it was fine, but I've got other products that I prefer more. And the last item I have here is this Too Faced sketch marker. This is their black shade. It's a felt tip, which is not my favorite. I do prefer a brush tip, but I do like the pen style applicator. Like that's always gonna be fantastic to me. It's a decently fine tipped point, but I found that the felt tip itself collected too much of my eyeshadow and therefore just made it really difficult over time to use it. I feel like this ran out of ink surprisingly quickly. I'm not even sure if it's, of course, now that I'm doing it, it's showing up, but it's kind of, yeah, the consistency of it's not great right now. It's sad though. I love these when I first tried them out, and then over time I've just discovered that the black couldn't hold up like my brush tip ones can. All right, we're done. That's it for my empties. I'm gonna keep doing this every 2 months because I feel like it's a little bit more condensed and not as, here's a 30-minute video on my empties, which I'm sure some people love, but it's also like, that's a bit of a marathon to sit down and watch somebody talk about their garbage for 30 minutes. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.